Well, what's going on, Shelter family? Good morning. We are still after our Like a Child series. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the idea of why a child wonders, why it seeks, why is there so much curiosity, and why is actually that something that God's placed in each one of us. Let's check it out. Well, what's going on, Shelter family? I hope you are doing well. It's Pastor Jay here, and we have been going over our Like a Child series for these last few weeks. I think it's been such a cool thing for some of us to downshift, kind of get back to neutral on a few things, do some recalibration and realize just how simple and yet complex it is to get our hearts back to like a child. So here's the thing about a child that we haven't yet to talk about. They are curious, aren't they? I know my 6-year-old and my 11-year-old are filled with wonder all the time, whether it's been when we went to the Grand Canyon this last year or out at the beach. Wherever we are, especially my little one, he is doing everything he can to figure out why something works. He's curious. He's naturally drawn to what he doesn't know. There's something special about it. There's something so uniquely innocent about a child's heart that seeks, and that wonders, and has curiosity. That's one that's willing to learn. See, what I believe is, I don't believe it's supposed to stop when we become an adult. I believe that we are supposed to be in the mode of seeking, in the mode of wonder, in the mode of curiosity of how, why does God do things in and amongst this earth right now. I believe there is a precedence for this in the Bible. You know, in Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 13, God's talking to his chosen people, and he says this: "You will seek me, and you will find me when you seek me with all of your heart." I'll say that again. You will seek me, and you will find me when you seek me with all your heart. See, one of the beautiful things about a kid and a child is that they go around with a reckless abandon of having to learn. They're not forced to learn. They have a desire to learn what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and why something works. But I think sometimes for us as adults and Christians, we get into this mode of comfortable. We get in this mode of tradition. I know for me personally, and many of you know this about me, I love tradition. I love doing certain things the same way. If it's not broke, let's not fix it. But the counterbalance to that, and the problem with that, is many times I find myself getting in a spiritual rut. If I'm not seeking, if I'm not asking and learning and stretching and becoming flexible. The true problem with this is really what's going on is it's threatening my security. You know, for me to become a seeker, for me to actually go after and search after the Lord and figure out what he's doing and why he's doing it, possibly threatens the very security of some of the foundation of what I believe and why I believe. See, what I believe is, I believe that God is asking us to seek him. See, I always think that God is doing a new thing. Yes, we know that God's purposes, his plan, and his heart for humanity never changes. But the way that he does things, I think it's supposed to keep us on our toes. I think it's supposed to keep us sharp. I think it's supposed to keep us wondering and in awe of who God is. You know, this reminds me of the story of Nicodemus in John chapter 3, right? Nicodemus comes at night. This man, as we know, he's part of the Sanhedrin. He's part of this group of 70 men who set the law for Israel. He has been into this law and dedicated his whole entire life to a certain order, a certain set of principles, religion, culture, and how it's set. And then what happens here? He sees Jesus and he sees the freedom of Jesus. He sees the spirit within inside of him. And what he says is, I want more of that. So he goes to Jesus on a dark night and he gives all these questions. And sometimes I think we kind of look down on Nicodemus because he's confused. But I don't see it that way. What I see happening in John chapter 3 is the Jewish teacher is being taught by the Son of God. How many of us are willing to be taught? How many of us are flexible? How many of us are like a child where we wake up and we have a willingness and a desire to seek, to learn, to wonder, to maybe not know every single answer, yet let the Spirit of God speak to us in a day's time? I think that's the challenge for us today. I think that's where I want you to go. I want you to let go of the security that you have of knowing what you know, and instead going back and asking God, Lord, today reveal to me your heart, your character in the world in front of me. Let's go back to the heart of a child and become a true seeker. I love you guys. Have an amazing day.